name is Holly Baglio, and I'm your hostess with the mostest, keeping Yahushua HaMashiach the focus. And I am broadcasting to you live from Spirit Force Studios right here in my beautiful garden home state of Nazi, New Jersey, Fourth Reich Rising. I want my HTV. Oh, was that perfect timing? Hang on a second. If I rewind YouTube a little bit and I rewind to the part where I just sang my introduction and then I sang over it, it could be two Hollies singing at once. I want my HTV. And by popular demand, I'm back. Claudette, thank you for agreeing to do these interviews with me. Thank you for posing questions to me to pull out my testimony. And I hope to get your testimony on internet radio too, because I believe that you have a miracle story and I see my shepherd in you and working in your life. And I think your testimony would encourage so many people. Okay, so first question. Hey, Candace joined us over on YouTube. I love you, Candace. She's one of my favorites. So again, Claudette's going to pose questions. If anybody else has questions, please feel free to ask. But first, I'd like to say there's a trigger warning, but I think people should have seen that coming just by the title MKUltra. But trigger warning. Also, this is my testimony. And although I have had full reintegration of 169 altars a year and a half ago, I'm still healing. I'm out of recovery, but I'm still healing and kind of learning how to live. And also, I want to finalize my autobiography because I think I may have been confusing people. And a lot recently has been revealed to me. And I just want to also say thank you to the people like Carmen and James Casbold for my support system, for Claudette and Candace, Stay Frosty and Rita and Lincoln and DC. I love you guys so much. And there's some new women in my life too, and they're beautiful. And I just want to take a moment to say I really love you guys that I've met here online over the past 10 years, especially recently over the past 4 years. You guys are really special, and please do not let anybody ever treat you differently. All right, so let's just get to the questions. First question, have you ever operated an avatar in Project SeaGate? I think so. Okay. My memories are fragmented. And this is why I wanted to reunite with some of the kids I was trafficked with. And even if they don't remember me, still I went through these same projects and their testimony could jog my memories. And I want full and total recall of all of my memories. But again, it's at the foot of the cross and let Heavenly Abba's will be done. And Abba, please be here with me for this broadcast and please run it with me. Please, please. I love you so much. In Yahushua's name, Selah. My golden bow. All right. So to the best of my ability and knowledge, the very first time I walked through a SeaGate, when I got onto that project, I was very nervous. And then also I had previously been a wise ass and joking around with who I thought was just another low-ranking soldier, but it turned out to be like the commander, I don't know the right terminology, but the team leader of the project I was on. And it was a total, like, if you've ever seen that movie Top Gun, it was a total oops on my part, you know, when Tom Cruise sang that song and then he chased the woman into the bathroom. And then the next day in the morning, guess who's his boss? None other than... Yeah, so that happened to me. But I was nervous. It was a new black ops team. It was different. And one evening, the team leader, actually, he was not a low ranking soldier. He was actually kind of in charge and high up. Even if he did have a low rank, he was in charge of two different black operations teams that I worked with. So he was in charge of like 12 people, and we had two teams, if my memory serves me. So the very first time when he brought me in before the SeaGate, and we sat down in the chairs, and my memory comes in where I'm on the other side of the SeaGate by myself. And apparently you're never supposed to cross over the SeaGate by yourself. I don't know why. You would have to look into other people's testimonies of Project SeaGate who remember more clearly than I do. But I've got some fragments. I remember the white lab coats beating me and another super soldier because we did something wrong and went against the rules. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. So my memory comes in where I'm on the other side of the SeaGate, and I start walking towards the gate to come back through into the dome, where I see my body slouch over, but being propped up and supported by this team leader who's in charge of the two black operations teams that I just got accepted onto. And I go walking back to my body, I guess following the silver cord. I got back into my body, and the commander or the team leader, he said, he moved his hands a certain way, and he said, "Holly, now that's how it's done." I love you too, Candace. I hope you have a beautiful day. Here's your blessings. And then, of course, I guess him and I sat there in front of the gate a little too long, and he smelled good. Well, next thing you know, he laid a kiss on me, and then a white lab coat comes in the room and screams, "What are you two doing in here?" Maybe it's better that we got caught kissing instead of me being caught on the other side of that gate doing something that was not supposed to be done. Anyway, we did this mission where I remember being on the opposite side of the SeaGate, but I thought I had an avatar. I thought I was working a body. And I say this because I was wearing some sort of gear and tool belt. And I remember like hiding something off to the side of the SeaGate and burying it and hiding it. So I was handling tools and doing things. And physical objects were being moved. So maybe I'm making an ass out of you and me, but I think we had an avatar that we worked once we were on the other side. So our physical bodies were sitting in a chair safely back in the domes, but we were using the silver cord to go through the gate, and I believe we had an avatar body. Let me check my notes. Yeah, we performed functions on the other side of the gate. Okay, everybody's got their belief system, and I'm not here to argue and debate, but I'm just going to tell you simply what I think so that my testimony makes sense and you know where I'm coming from. The gate would bring us into other dimensions. I look at Mars and Saturn as being other dimensions. They're not other worlds like the Earth is a world. Only the Earth is the Earth. There is no other Earth out there. What's out there are stars and planets, nebulas, galaxies, Dysons. Look up Dysons. So going through the gate, we were going into another dimension. I hate to say it. Have you ever taken shrooms? Don't. And one thing for me, shrooms are scary for a person like me because I don't need them. I can see these entities and sometimes these other dimensions normally. I do not need anything to open me up to it. I'm already open to it normally, and I'm good. I'm good without stuff like that, to be honest with you. Because sometimes my spiritual gifts get to be so much that I beg Heavenly Abba to turn them off. And sometimes they've gotten so much that I'm guilty of running to alcohol. So, I probably answered too much of that question. But I think so. Hey, iron sharpens iron. Welcome. It's great to see you. Okay, Claudette, how was that? Next question. I must check my kratom tea, though. I have it going through a coffee filter, and I hope it's done. Ooh. Okay, next question. Oh, and just so you know, Claudette is on Spreaker right now posing these questions. She's not on the YouTube chat room. Okay, just... No wonder why I saw sparkles. Mary, I love you so much. It was such an honor to talk to you on Facebook yesterday and be able to tell you that. I got to go back and look at all my comments that people leave me, but I pray blessings upon you and thank you for letting me see something beautiful, because reality can be so ugly. So you're a beautiful sister, and thank you for having a friendship and sisterhood with me and Yahusha. And also Claudette says hello too. Claudette Arsenal. Shit, Claudette made me. She told me, even back when she met me, she's like, Holly, what are you doing? Bridget's name should never go first. You're the star here. And no, I don't like. But she's like, Holly, you're the main person. Your name's always supposed to go first. So this time, for the first time, I listened to Claudette's advice and I put my name first. But I want Claudette to know how special she is to me. So, oh, and Claudette, Mary says hello back. Mary Lutz. So, all right. The second question. I don't have the wind thing in front of my microphone, and I don't want to breathe into the microphone, but if I have that windbreaker thing in front of the mic, then you two can't see me. Okay, question number 2. What is MKUltra? Good question. I'd like to know myself. All right. Well, MK, like in English, mind control would be M-I-N-D, mind, and then control, C-O-N-T-R-O-L. It would be MC. But in German, it would be MK due to the fact that they're German. So MK, mind control, MKUltra. At the end of World War II, there was Operation Paperclip that saved approximately 1,500 wealthy, elite Nazi scientists and masterminds. And they were brought to other areas of the world. And one of those people was Joseph Mengele. So because of Operation Paperclip saving all these Nazi masterminds at the end of World War II, so they could continue on with all of their different kinds of experiments, the Ultra, that the mind control, the human experimentation is classified as MKUltra, but underneath MKUltra, apparently there's hundreds of different kinds of projects. But I'm a created human, so if somebody says they're an MKUltra, it does not necessarily mean that they're a created human, but they could have undergone one of these other projects for the mind control. For me, I went through trauma, torture-based mind control techniques. And what they did was they perfected that trauma and torture-based mind control techniques on us kids when I was younger. And they turned it into entertainment, sports. They turned it into a chemical that the medical industry can give out. And they do not have to get you under the age of 6 anymore to fracture your mind. All they have to do is hit you with this chemical. It damages that area of your brain as if you had been trafficked for 37 years like myself. And it damages that area of your brain as if you had been in those cages. But you did not go through it. They perfected it. And now they can get you at any age, inject you with this chemical, that certain area of your brain is damaged, and now you are primed to be a mind control slave. And mind control slave, MKUltra, it could be a journalist that maybe has sex to collect information on the person they're writing about. Maybe it's a drug runner, maybe it's a soldier, maybe it's an assassin, maybe it's a Manchurian candidate, maybe it's a politician that misleads people, maybe it's a singer or an actor that will influence the crowd to go a certain way. In case I didn't say it, Mary Claudette says hello. I hate to say this, but that movie, A Clockwork Orange, the movie, watch it. And when they talk about denochrome, no, it's adrenochrome. And I have memories where once I was in my teens and into my 30s, and they started sending me out on missions and various assignments, I remember me and the other soldiers stopping, getting out a thermos, taking off, like an old style thermos, taking off the top, which is used as a cup, then unsealing the thermos, pouring the thermos into that thing that you use as a cup, and all of us soldiers drinking it. And then shortly thereafter, going into action. I'm just going to say right now, Abba, I repent for all of that. In Yahushua's name, Selah. So for me, that's what I think MKUltra is. I'm a survivor of it, not a victim. How was that, Claudette? Mick D, hello. All right, so again, for the new joiners, Claudette is on Spreaker posing questions to me to pull out my testimony. So I'm telling you my limited knowledge, but trying to put you in my shoes so you can experience what I went through. Current day, how is MKUltra used? Well, it's still ongoing in the DUMBs. They just renamed the projects. They're transforming our current military troops into super soldiers, so to speak. They're taking these kids, 18, 19, 20, in their 20s and 30s, and they're injecting them with these chemicals that damage their brain, so they're primed to be an MKUltra slave. Then the military programs them, pumps them up full of more chemicals. And with nanotechnology, you shoot a few frequencies out, and these the nanotechnology inside the person's body picks up these frequencies, and it puts them in an altered state of mind, and it triggers them. So how is MKUltra used nowadays? It's made common now, so it's not something that's only in the DUMBs. Now it's on the surface of the earth, and MKUltra is commonplace, like sadly cheating is commonplace. People are brainwashed by TV, video games, magazines, sporting events, concerts, all this different kind of entertainment. MK Ultra is being used on a grand mass scale. It's not limited to like the targeted individual community. No, I feel personally that they have undiagnosed paranoid schizophrenia and the internet is the last place they should be. It's being used across the board on all of us. There is nobody that is unaffected by this. Mary says my cousin, who I was very close with my whole life, went into the army and he came out as a totally different person. Yes, because these chemicals, they don't have to be put in a cage like Joseph Mangley did to me and electrocute me to the point that I got right with being okay with dying. It was hurting me more to go through that electrocution than it would hurt my grandparents to find out that I was dead. And I came to terms with that when I was about 5, 6 years old. It was brutal in those cages. They don't have to put you through that anymore, but they can damage you like they damaged me, but they do it as entertainment. And then they make you use your money to pay for your own demise. Okay. I don't know. Oh, don't forget about the Gwen Towers with the frequencies. I need to take my own advice, but keep up with metal detox, like detox from metals. Get that crap out of your system. It's bad enough we don't have a choice about these frequencies hitting our bodies and microwaving us, but get the metals out of your body. Because these frequencies hit the metals, they put you in an altered state of mind. You ever notice when you're driving down the highway and everybody's doing 90 miles an hour? Oh, I love those days. And then the very next day, everybody's only doing 55. And it's like, oh my gosh. Okay, well, they're zoned out to these frequencies. So pray for the covering of the blood of the Lamb, and stay hydrated. So, Abba, how else is MK Ultra used? Like every time you watch like TV, you're being programmed. And then people start living what they see on TV. They start basing their moral compass on the Kardashians or the cowboys or the video games or something else along those lines. Orange County Housewives. All right. I think I did good. What's the next question? Fire away, Claudette. This is a good question. How did you deprogram? How did you handle your alters? I did not really write a lot of an answer down, but I like this question. How did I deprogram? By running through a neighborhood naked, calling the cops on myself twice, encouraging a second party to call the cops on me a third time, signing myself into the hospital, and once I got there, literally kissing the floor that I was there, because for the couple of months preceding, I forgot how to sleep. I wasn't really eating, and I was a complete distraught mess. And I had just lost my home, so I was renting a very expensive couch to keep my cat, dog, and I together. Well, the first thing was that I saw other kids that had been trafficked, now turned adults in 2014. I had bumped into videos and interviews that they had made, and they said they had alters. And yes, this is live. And they were talking about Joseph Mangley, and I remember Joseph Mangley. I nicknamed him Joe the Mechanic. I had Stockholm Syndrome over him. He is the only programmer, handler, or white lab coat that I will talk about. And I think I may have confused one of the children's mothers, a child I was trafficked with. I may have confused their mom with a programmer. And I'm so sorry to that child's mom for my confusion of that. But I realized it was a programmer. And listen, I'm not here for the programmers. I'm so honored and humbled that Abba answered my prayer that I made 10 years ago, because I really wanted to meet Commander James Casbolt, a few other soldiers I believe I remember from the Dumbs, and his fiance. And I didn't get to meet everybody, but I got to meet him, and I pray he has a beautiful life, because he went through hell. Okay, I'm babbling. Forgive me, but I'm trying to answer his question. How did you deprogram? Okay, so I saw their videos and I got to thinking, and I was like, Abba, they're saying they got altars. Do I? Abba, some strange stuff is happening. Am I demonically possessed because of this stuff that happened in the Dumbs? So I turned to Abba, because he was the only one that never lied to me. I cut out the middleman. I just went directly to the Bible and I listened to it and read it myself. I relied on Abba to explain it to me. I'm non-denominational. I take the Bible literal, black and white, for what Abba speaks in it. He says literally exactly what he means. And he never lies. So I went to him, and I didn't really know him at all. Well, I did. That's another story. But I turned to him. He says he's the way, right? Well, I tried every other way. I tried every other pill, every kind of therapist, psychoanalyst. Oh my gosh, counselor. What kind of doctor? Yeah, I tried it. Short of a witch doctor. Nothing ever worked. So I heard his word was still living, and it still cures and heals. So I went to him, and I found out he wasn't lying. So I fell in love with him. That bad morning when I went running through the neighborhood naked, that was December 20th of 2014. But I was slowly waking up and coming. No, I wasn't slowly waking up. I had a flash flood of memories, and it took me about 4 to 5 months. And then once it hit me that I was trafficked, that's when I just fell flat on my face. And that day was December 20th of 2014. I had severe shell shock, and I was reenacting hunting parties I had been through as a small child. My knees were knocking. It felt like a midlife crisis and a nervous breakdown all rolled up into one ball. Then I'm having dreams and visions coming true, all at the same time. So I really felt that I needed Heavenly Abba, and that only he could really handle me and this, because he's God. December 12th of 2014, I know this is going to sound crazy, but you guys don't laugh at nuns, so don't laugh at me. I married Yahushua HaMashiach, and I began wearing a wedding band. I began wearing a wedding band. And so I realized I had altars. Abba led me to a book by Fitz Springmeyer, something to the effect of the Illuminati's ultimate handbook in creating the ultimate undetectable mind control slave. And it talked about Joseph Mengele's method of his madness, and that Mengele would program 169 altars. And my altars were off the hook when I was reading that book. And they're like, Holly, this is me. This is us. This is you. This is what happened. And I wrote to Fitz Springmeyer, and I said, I think I'm one of the kids that you were talking about in the cages, because how do you know? Boy, am I relieved that somebody finally knows, because when I was 18 and I talked to the people at Millington Baptist Church and the church, they were of no help. So I just went back to sleep and was continued to be used. So like that soft spot in my heart is for the kids that I was trafficked with and the other survivors and victims. What I did was I started drawing. I needed to separate what was a dream and vision from Abba and what was a memory from the deep underground military bases. And when I got approximately 30 drawings, I remember taking them and laying them out on the floor. And I put in one pile what I believed was a super soldier memory. And then I put in another pile what I think was a dream from Abba. And then I was just making pretty designs. So I separated them out like that. When my altars would pop forward, they would see that wedding band. And at first it was an instant panic and anxiety attack all wrapped up into one. And my altars would lose their script and they'd be like, oh my God, Holly, what did you do to us? Who did you marry? Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's like a lead balloon 169 times. So, but once they found out it was Yahusha and it was God who came to earth as a perfect man, and when he ascended to heaven after his death and resurrection, he then sent himself and Holy Spirit down to be my companion. And that's the big mystery, is that that's him. In the beginning, the Word was him. He was with the Word was him. The Word is him. What is it? In John, that's the big mystery. That's him in human form. And our companion is him in the spirit. So my altars could see that. They could see him. My altars were opened up to that spirit realm. So that's why he was my golden, but another reason for him to be my golden bow, because every single victory he won it when it came to spiritual warfare. I could see him just like I could see the demons. I could see his Holy Spirit moving through the air and being next to me. And of course, we always have to test the spirits and get confirmations back from Abba. But my altars would find out it was Yahusha. And then I would tell my altars, you know, he treats me great. And all we have to do is take a knee. And it's that easy. And we don't need anything more than just him and our Bible. And it's easy. We don't have to make any phone calls or answer to anybody else or go anywhere or do anything risky. I just needed to answer to him. But I'll tell you what, December 12th of 2014, Sam and another altar, Sam was like a system all onto his own. My toughest, strongest, meanest alpha male altars drove me to Jonathan Kahn's December 5th and December 12th, making sure I got there because I was turning myself over in full surrender to Yahushua HaMashiach, repenting and full surrender, full submission to him. And I believe my altars had enough too. So I began to treat my altars like human beings. I tried to get their memories. I let them become friends with other people. I would let them talk. There were a couple of years where I wouldn't let them talk. And then when I did let them talk, I would not let other people talk to them because I didn't want anybody messing with them. I was programmed by the military, so my altars did not have names. A couple did. But what I ended up doing was nicknaming my altars by their characteristics. But I would leave them little notes. I would try to get things that they liked to eat. Like there was a little baby doll altar, I think 2-3 years old. When she popped up, I kind of slept in the living room by the kitchen doorway because when she would wake up, I wanted to make sure I could get her to the bathroom. And I'd ask her, do you need water? Do you need a snack? And I treated my altars kindly. And also, your altars are not demons. They might be programmed to act like demons, but they're pieces of you stuck at that moment of extreme trauma and torture. That's what an altar is. And because what happened to me was done in the dumps, my programming was very generic. So my altars didn't have names, but typically when somebody is abused by their family, their alters may actually develop give themselves names and take form and shape of that altar because there's nobody there directing them. So they shape themselves. But when my mind was fractured, there was Joseph Mangley there to program that altar, to give that altar orders, demands, commands, and instructions. Joseph Mangley programmed himself into me. I remember little altars popping up, and this one little altar, she'd go, Howie, I guess about 4, 5, and she'd be like, Howie, there's a tall, dark guy standing over me, watching me while I play with my toys. And it was Joseph Mangley. Behave, because he's always watching. He's always watching. So you behave. I left, paper and crayons out. So when my altars came forward, some of them did not know how to read or write, but they could draw me a picture. Some of them would ask me to read the Bible. I remember there's a point in time I had trouble. It looked like the words and letters were all scrambled up on the page. So I kept a diary too, written. It's all up online, and I still keep that diary to this day. So the diary, drawing, treating my altars kindly. I did go through a freedom deliverance. Now listen, it doesn't matter if you have 3 altars or 169. If you go through a freedom deliverance and it is done properly, you only need to go through it once. And this goes for anybody that doesn't have altars. If it's done correctly the first time, you will only need to do it one time. You do not have to go through a freedom deliverance for every single altar. But I'm going to tell you something. When my altars popped up and they saw the wedding band, and I'd say, listen, he's my golden bow. He helps me in spiritual warfare, and I don't know what happened to me. And here you are, and I'm talking to you like, okay, I think only Abba can handle this. And again, I was going directly to him. If I wanted to know something, I could look it up online, but I was going directly to Abba. Always. And I would introduce them to Abba, and they kind of, once they met him, he took over, and they'd all wind up falling in love with them. And then eventually one day in December 2022, he blessed me with full reintegration, and I've been fully healed now for 1.5 years. And I'm hoping to start to learn to live life, but learn who I am as an individual. I love broadcasting. I want to finish my autobiography now that I realize I've got a lot of corrections to make. But all the nice things that I said about the super soldiers, such as Commander Casbolt, I mean the nice things. And I just want those people to be happy and have Godspeed. And I think about them. There's not a day in the past 10 years that I haven't thought about the other kids in a cage. And there were times that my heart yearned for them. And I know that sounds so stupid. But for 37 years of my life, I was trafficked. And just be kind to yourself. Make sure that you have a good support system. You only need like 2 or 3 good friends. But yeah, like a diary, even a video vlog. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're deprogramming, do not put it up publicly. Do it privately. The predators always come back to see how you're doing. And if you're doing well and getting too close to the target, they're going to throw a wrench in the works to throw you off. They're going to put in stumbling blocks to your deprogramming and recovery process. Keep it private. If you want to come forward, then come forward. Once you've had, like, it took me 8 years. So basically December 2014 to December 2022, it took me that long to get past the mind control. And Abba's bigger, and the blood of the Lamb crushes their mind control. It crushes their fallen angel technology. It crushes their implants. I healed from SRA, satanic ritual abuse. And you can tell by my relationship with my golden bow for his silver arrow. I'm past the satanic ritual abuse. And then DID, dissociative identity disorder. I'm now a healed person, one full operating unit. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to suggest this. Abba and I were doing this, just him and I. I relied on him. And I started that process with him, just him and I, in 2014. I started seeking him December 2011. By January 2012, I was searching for him. And I kept saying, he's the way, he's the way. By 2013, things started to click. I read Betty Eadie's book, Embraced by the Light, and then all of a sudden I remembered the time from before I was born. There was something else I was going to say. So in 2014, Abba tapped my shoulder and said, Holly, there's something else that you need to get right. I'm going to help you with it. And that's when the flash flood of memories of the kids in the cage came back. Okay, I think it was around December 2019, somebody bought me the book, Kathy O'Brien, PTSD, A Time to Heal. When I read that book, I was like, Abba, I've been doing all of this except for having a wristwatch on, and there was something else in the book. I was like, nah, that's not going to work. And third thing, your name is Yahuwah, and I know your voice, and I know your name because I know your voice. You're not source. You may be the source of all of this, but your name is Yahuwah. And because of that intimacy with you, it makes it harder for the kingdom of darkness to attack, and it makes it easier for Heavenly Abba to heal my insides. Drawing, writing, having I was blessed with a beautiful support system and beautiful friends and acquaintances, even if they were from different backgrounds and belief systems. They were just so kind and gentle and patient. And even when I was having a lash out, they'd let me put my tail between my legs and come back and apologize and say, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean any of that. And I don't know what happened. I'm trying to learn control, and I'm trying to untangle my mind. And I definitely want to act right. But there's other times where anger is definitely called for. I just want to say real quick, mighty strong Yahushua, blessings to you too, and thank you so much. So, treat your altars kindly. They are you, stuck at that moment of trauma and torture. They're a piece of you. So treat yourself how you want to be treated. And don't be embarrassed of your altars. Oh, this is big. Do not be embarrassed of your altars, because I'm going to tell you right now, if it wasn't for your altars, you'd be dead. If it wasn't for let me rephrase it. If it wasn't for my altars, I would be dead. Because all the other kids that did not split off, they died. They couldn't handle the trauma and torture that I was put through. I handled that trauma and torture because my mind broke and I split off, and that's how the altar was formed. And if my mind didn't break and that altar split off, then the only other option would have been that my body would have given out under that duress and I would have died, like the majority of the kids in these projects. I remember being brought into a dump. It looked like a warehouse, for lack of better terms. Like if you go into a Walmart, like a super Walmart shopping center, and you take out the aisles and you replace it with cages 3 stacked high, and you put about 5 to 10 kids in each cage, and you electrocute it all, it gets quiet fast. And then there's only maybe a few cages where you actually see movement or hear a whimper. I was talking with a Black Ops combat vet, and I told him, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. You're stronger than the rest, so don't be embarrassed of your alters. They're here because you survived it. If those alters weren't here, then you'd be dead. So you are the fittest. What is that? The survival of the fittest? Yeah, you're the survival of the fittest. So don't be embarrassed or humiliated. You're basically abusing precious cargo that's already been traumatized and tortured. Don't do that to yourself. Bind and cast those spirits away. The contempt, condemnation, disinterest, bind and cast it away. So, all right, I think I'm done with that question, Claudette. We're at 15 minutes. Do you want to do the bonus question? That's kind of off topic, but still very relevant and may help other people, even if they're not MKUltra. Bonus question. Yep. Excuse me. Bonus question. Why do people work us up? They will say our friends don't love us, our home is not safe, and they know better about our lives than we do. Great question. Like, I come from the dumps in these MKUltra projects, and that's my trauma and abuse. Claudette does not come from these projects that I do, but she went through extreme trauma and abuse, but it came from her direct family. And then there's more to her story, but I want her to tell you because that's her business. So Claudette and I have 2 different backgrounds. We're victims that, through the blood of the Lamb, have overcome our traumas and tortures to be survivors in Yahusha. Well, why do people work us up? Like, I went through this recently, and Claudette has gone through this, where you'll have 3,000 people on your Facebook page that you're friends with, and like 30 of them you really adore and you can laugh with them. And then there's another 100 of them that they're really cool and you can chit chat with them and you're happy that you met them. But you have all these people on your page and you've developed these friendships and bonds and you enjoy each other's personality and company. And then maybe, I don't know, you start sending cards back and forth. Maybe you tithe to one another. Maybe you guys hit a rough situation and you mail like care packages back and forth. Well, then suddenly someone out of the blue, out of left field, from the darkness, sent from hell, pops up and starts going, Claudette, these people are using you. They don't love you. They're using you, Claudette. Don't trust them. Trust me. See, Claudette, I'm a real survivor. And Claudette, also stop listening to Holly Baglio's videos. Don't listen to her videos anymore. Just listen to me. And Claudette, these people don't care. Look, you've got what? 4,000 people on your friends list. They don't love you. And this person will drown Claudette or drown me or drown you, the audience, with attention, always calling, always on top of you. And it seems like there's always an urgency and rush that they put in your stomach, and they kind of get you all worked up. And then the next thing you know, there's paranoia, there's doubt, and now you're letting this person out of the blue, from the pits of hell, most likely, control and dominate your life, and then tell you who loves and cares about you. And they just dominate over you. They work you up. They'll turn around and say, Claudette, Holly doesn't love you. Claudette, your home is not safe. You have to give all your stuff up and come live with me. Or better yet, come live with me and give all your stuff up, but give it to me when you give it up. Oh, Claudette, I know these people better than you do. They don't care. Oh, Claudette, they'll give you any excuse. Like recently I had this happen where someone said, Holly, your online friends don't care about you. I would be devastated. I'm here physically. It would hurt me more than it would your online friends if something happened to you, Holly. And meanwhile, this person that said that to me only came to one of my broadcasts for maybe 5 minutes. They don't know my background. They don't know my testimony. They don't know Yahusha. They call themselves Christians, but live like Luciferians, Satanists, and heathens. And they don't know anything about me. They don't pay attention to who's talking to me online and what that person is saying and what I'm saying back to them. And they're not getting that, I broadcast, I take a lot of phone calls because I like to pray for people. I'm not a counselor, but I like to pray for people. And if I can share my spiritual gifts, then I want a prophet's reward to go to you. And that's what I do. They don't do any spiritual warfare. When I hit hard times, they never said, Holly, can I pray for you? Or Holly, you want to read the Bible together? Nothing. They were all about topics of this world. And the reason why this person said, oh, these people online don't care about you, was this person was literally trying to pull me away from you guys. So that way, 5 days a week, I would be obligated to her and her family doing what she wanted me to do, running my car in the ground, taking up my time, barging in on my day, obligating me, disrupting my day, making it harder for me to do my broadcast whenever I want. And I tell you guys right now, anytime I get an interview, I'm stopping and dropping and running to that interview. I don't care what is going on, unless, of course, there's an actual emergency. But dog sitting, baby driving, or kid driving around, no. I'm going to my interview. First and foremost, this is what I do. And these people don't know what I do. They don't know how I feel on the inside. I'm nothing like them. And you can tell that right off the bat. And they're always right. I'm wrong. Because they talk louder. They're right. They want to run my household. Or there's another scenario. They could be totally jealous because of the attention I get online, and they're not getting any in their own lives. I don't know. But why do people do that? And then what happens? What happens, Claudette? You and I are the stupid ones. For instance, you went through it. You turned around and we were both struck by this person, okay? Both of us. Because this person that did this to you also turned around and tried to threaten to sue me. What? Because I don't believe your testimony and I don't want to be your friend? If you could sue everybody that did not want to be your friend or did not believe you, we'd be living at a courthouse right now, all of us. And what happened, Claudette? You deleted your friends off your Facebook page because of the one person. Well, what you went through, Claudette, I was face to face with that just a couple of weeks ago. And you know what I did? I got rid of the person that was saying that to me, and I kept my online friends. I kept the people that I know to love me. And I didn't let them threaten me, bully me, scare me, intimidate me, get control over me. They want to keep you destitute. And that way you're forced to be under their thumb, only relying on them. as they feed you the narrative they want you to have, because they want you to keep coming back to them, go back to them. And meanwhile, they're only using you because they're narcissists. They want to dictate our lives, dominate over us, be the focal point. They're insecure, they're jealous. They may have mental issues that are not worked out. Maybe they are projecting onto us. I mean, like people like Bridge, they say, oh, my exes, they're out to get me. That's why I'm going to court. Yes, both of them, they're out to get me. They're out to get me. And meanwhile, no, they're not out to get her. They're not out to get her. They're trying to protect their family. Oh, it's only because they hate me. So you're playing the pity card, saying that your exes hate you, and that's why they're doing what they're doing, is just to get at you. Like everybody wants to spend 10 years in court and waste all that money, right? Like people want to do that. So people like that'll play this pity card and to reel you in, so you feel bad, your heartstrings are attached, and now they get to do the same thing to you that they just did to their ex-husbands, and you're prepared, pack your clothes, you're going on a trip. It'll probably include a guilt trip, but you're going on a trip. That person just got you hook, line, and sinker, and what they did to land them in the trouble they're in with people previously, they're just going to repeat their patterns and do it over with you. They do these things like what has happened to Claudette and myself and many of my listeners. They do this to kill your character, kill your spirit, suck your energy like a vampire. They want to be a god, not only in their lives, but they want to be your god. They raise themselves up. Some of them are Kim Kardashian wannabes. Like there's someone famous on the internet. He's ticked off at me. He killed an interview or two because I will not carry his teachings about angels and demons. Listen, right now I carry Yahushua HaMashiach's gospel, and that's that. That's what I chose. But if I didn't choose Yahushua, you know whose teachings I would have chosen to carry? I'll be honest, and I feel so vulnerable. I would carry James Casbolt's teachings. I've turned to Yahushua, and he's my commander. He gives me commands. He's my new military leader. I want to be a SEAL for Yahushua. But this other famous internet personality is mad at me, Holly, because I won't carry his teachings. And now I've at least one interview has been killed because of it. No. December 12, 2014, I married Yahushua HaMashiach. He became my golden bow. I'm his silver arrow. I'm only carrying his living words because his living words are still living. And I've seen with my own eyes that they still cure and heal. And the best thing I can give to any one of you is life, is him. There's the bonus question. All right, listen, this will be uploaded to Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Podbean. And I just want to say thank you so much to the listeners. If you have questions, please feel free to ask. Claudette, I'm so honored that you would embark on this project with me to pull my testimony out of me, because it does help me. And I got to figure things out. I've been confused, and maybe also there's forces out there that may have misled me while I was deprogramming. But Abba told me to put my recovery and deprogramming process up online because there's so many people out there going through similar things. I'm willing to talk about it. I'll say all the controversial stuff. I'll say the M word, the master dome word. I'll say it. Don't make me. I'll even say the P word. I'm not going to right now. Don't worry. But now I know why he made me do that. Number one, because there's so many other people out there suffering and they don't know what's going on and they'd like to figure it out. And not everybody has transportation and a fat wallet to go to some high-priced doctor for them to mislead us as to what the problem really is. Well, you're paying me hundreds of dollars an hour, but you're the one to figure it out. No, I'm paying you money for you to do it. Anyway, why bother paying money? If I got to do it myself, I'll keep the money and that's it. But Abba healed me real time. He healed my 169 altars, my satanic ritual abuse, the MKUltra programming I suffered. He healed me real time in front of everybody. So everybody saw it. If they deny it, then they're denying him. And for the people that saw it, they'll know that Abba is still here, willing and able to do miracles. We just need to go directly to him. And this should be encouraging to other people, especially to other victims and survivors, and even people that are trying to rekindle their passion for Abba and turn back to him. Even if it's to rededicate and you're like, Abba, what have I done for the past 20 years? I've fallen away from you. Guys, come back. Come back to him. And when you come back to him, when we all return to him, a lot of people are not going to choose to return to him. The gates to hell are wide. But those of us that return to him, once we return to him, he's going to throw the biggest party that heaven and earth has ever seen. And I don't mean to get so preachy because I don't want to turn anybody off to my MKUltra testimony, but he's how I did it. And he's Heavenly Abba. All right. So I think we're at an hour and 5 minutes. I just want to say again, Mary, Mighty Strong, KD Xbox stopped in. Somebody else got booted. McD, Candace, and everybody else. Thank you for joining in and hanging out. Abba, all praise, all love, all glory, all worship, all honor be to you and only to you in Yahushua HaMashiach's name. And Claudette. Oh, thank you, Sandy Marie Promotions, for the Maymays. And Claudette, thanks for doing this for me. And let's see if we can come up with some more questions, because I don't know. I should take these questions and type them up underneath the YouTube video, but that would look too professional. Claudette, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to the listeners, I love you guys so much. Agape. But I want you guys to be happy, healthy, successful. I find you guys to be a direct blessing to me from Heavenly Abba, even if you don't believe in him, even if you hate him. I really cherish you, and I mean it when I say I love you, agape style. And thank you for allowing me to be here among you fine folks, because there's nowhere else I'd rather be. And Claudette says, I love doing this. Well, I love doing this with you too. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And all right, maybe in a little bit, I'll be back on Facebook to do a video about binding and casting away. Yeah, so, and that's a wrap for I Want My HTV. I don't even have my sound effects. Like, I don't have any clapping. All right, so that's done with. Thank you so much, YouTube. I'm so sorry for the terrible video. It's because of this cell phone. My cell phone's not fixed yet, and I want it to be because it's got the fingerprint thing in it. You can't use my phone unless you got the fingerprint. So we'll see what happens. But thank you so much. And I do hope to do part 6. If you guys have any questions, email me. YHVHS Holly Baglio at protonmail.com. You can also email me at hollybaglio11 at gmail. But I like the Proton better because it's private, and also because I was attacked in my Gmail and they erased everything that I sent to Barry King, everything about James Casbolt, and certain other specific emails that I had stored for many, many, many years. They totally wiped it out. But praise Abba, they forgot to look in my draft section. And in my draft section was a really, really important document where I can prove someone stole my address and has been fraudulently using my address and has never lived here. Anyway, enough about that. Thanks again, YouTube. I love you guys.